Good afternoon and welcome to the Friday Fixture, or good evening or good morning or however you're consuming today. Welcome, it's the Friday Fixture. Hello Robin, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm not too bad. Today is a special day because it's the Friday the 13th.
Yes.
And supposedly the 12th episode of the Friday Fixture, which is a shame because we'd have liked the 13th. But
can I just clarify? We were scheduled to do another episode and it got cancelled for various reasons. So this technically is the asterisk 13th.
Well, to make it even better, there is an archival first episode that we did do that
that's
never
true.
came out. So this
That's
technically
true. Should we just post that?
could be Friday the 13th episode of the Friday Fixture. So welcome along. We have the return of a fan favourite.
Yes.
A huge favourite. Ludovica is back. What is this, the third time?
Yeah, it's the third time.
Look at that.
Secretly our favourite, but we tell everyone else that, don't we, Naz?
You're on you're number one for appearances now.
Thank you. It's an honour to be back, you know. Thank you. I'm honoured to be with you guys every time. It's an honour. Thank you.
A pleasure.
That's
pleasure.
so kind.
Yeah.
I feel like there's real sincerity in that as well. And genuine
it was sincere.
I appreciate it.
I feel like hopefully we're gonna get your energy up as well. You know that you're not your own because you had a long day. You're exhausted.
Yeah. But
it's been a long week, right? Because it's Friday.
But
busy week.
The energy's gonna be up.
Okay. Right.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Friday Fixture does that on the Wednesday.
Of course.
Right. So much to talk about. News breaking today. Mr. Thomas Frank is gone. Quite frankly, that's some news that was probably coming for quite a while. Yeah. I think we all saw that coming. But that comes following yesterday's loss against Newcastle, where they were just typically dismal. They shouldn't really be be losing to Newcastle, who've also been pants lately as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that he's gone.
I feel like it is a surprise and also not a surprise, because I was thinking about like the defensive side of like when Frank was manager of Brentford. They were really quite a solid team, and then some of the defending, especially like last evening against Newcastle, especially for the first goal, is it Thiaw? He muscles his way past two defenders and then still manages to score on the rebound. So there's definitely like an element of like, I'm not sure you can blame it all on Frank. I think the resources he's got, the squad depth that he's got at Spurs, probably maybe isn't as good as Brentford, which is a big statement, but I think it's probably true. Mm-hmm. They've got a good starting 11, but obviously they're missing Kulusevski and Maddison, who are both injured. So, yeah, I think maybe it's a case of Frank being a bit unlucky, and I'm sure he'll be back stronger and be back in a mid-table Premier League side. I don't know what you think, Ludo.
No, I mean, like, I think that when everything goes bad, you need kind of a shake, kind of a shock moment. So I think that, it was the right thing to do, like, I'm sorry for him, but his time was due. But it was really funny because I think I saw an interview where it was like, "No, I'm gonna be on the bench against Arsenal," and like
they can still sit in the stands, I suppose.
Yeah,
still a possibility.
but like last famous word now is not gonna be there for like the derby. So it was really funny. I was like, no, I'm gonna be there, and no, you're not gonna be, bro.
Shame.
No.
I do wonder after you're sacked like that, if you like how much attention you pay. Like, you know, maybe once you're sacked, you go, I don't want to think about this club ever again. You know, move on. Or if he's going to be watching with, you know, like as a hater, just be like, I can't wait to watch.
I hope you're gonna lose.
I think what probably will happen is, do you remember when Graham Potter got sacked at Chelsea, and then he was away for like a year and a half in the end. I think he went back to Sweden, did some courses, just chilled. His nice payout that he got from Chelsea. So I can imagine what will happen is he'll be out of the game for a year, and normally what happens is they'll go on like the Monday Night Footballs or the Match of the Days, and they do their little pre-auditions for like when around January next year. I swear to you, he'll be back in a job, and prior to that, I would put a bet on it. He'll be on Match of the Day the night before. That's what's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
I can see some prophecy of this happening. I don't know.
If I were a coach, I would be like a hater, like going to the stadium and just like not supporting the team I used to coach. Like, you're gonna understand what you missed. You know what I mean?
It's a weird feeling though, because it's just their job, right? Like, they don't know how much of a supporter you become.
Yeah, but like when they sack you, like, oh my god, I'm gonna show you that you cannot have anything better than me.
Yeah, I think you particularly see it in managers who they'll manage rivals.
Yeah.
And so like it's like that's so blasphemous.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Well, Darren Bent's a classic example as a footballer who played for Spurs, and obviously he's a massive Arsenal fan now. He does TalkSport. All he talks about is basically Arsenal, which is obviously good for the clickbait stuff. So maybe you can separate yourself from like club versus fan loyalty or whatever. But yeah, I think I'd struggle playing for Spurs as a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
Naz, could you ever play for? I mean, Everton. I feel like I'm going to say this quietly. They're like your little brother, aren't they? So I feel like you probably could play for Everton and it would sort of be okay.
You know
Unless
what,
you
Robin?
lived in Everton.
Everton, I'm not
listen,
asked. I don't care, honestly. I'll play for them anytime. No, to be honest,
Is it like Chelsea and Fulham though? Kind of. Am I being a
Yeah,
bit
it would
harsh?
be United would be the one that I would have to be like, nah, I ain't
there's
touching
no
that.
way.
I ain't going near that. No way.
Ludo, what about you? Who would be the club? Would it be like Juventus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
You can play
100%.
for Juventus.
No,
What if they're
one-
offering you like millions and millions though? Crazy money.
No,
Could you
no.
work for Juventus media team?
I would.
That's
I would.
look for a job, right?
Come on.
Where the money's talking, Ludo.
We
Come on.
have to be honest. I would, yeah.
Yeah. You talked about. I sent you that clip of you talking about the flag, but it's all coming out now. All this stuff. Yeah.
Like,
The flag of Florentina.
yeah, like
Okay.
you cannot.
The media team is different though, because I think you'd just
Yeah,
be
no.
excited, right, to just
Yeah.
talk to players
And one of my
be in and around
friends
it.
works for
Oh,
them,
wow.
and it's so fun. Like I see his videos, and they are so well
Didn't
made.
take long, did it, to change your mind, guys? On the
Honestly.
loyalty front.
What happened to loyalty?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Dead in football now. It's dead.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, Thomas Frank gone. What do we think? Who do you think is going to come in?
They're talking about Silva, aren't they? At Fulham, which I feel like that's a bit of a mirror replacement
It would be, I think,
of
yeah.
Thomas Frank. But there is a lot of chat about this. But then he's also being linked with the Nottingham Forest job, which again feels like a step down if I was to go from Fulham personally. I reckon it'll either be someone internally for the rest of the season. They'll probably just consolidate and try and stay in the division, which is mental to say.
It's
but
insane,
I feel like that is kind of it. For Spurs, you could. I mean, they've got the Champions League, but they're not going to win the Champions League, are they? Maybe they will. They'll do an Ans 2.0 from last season. Maybe, who knows? Yeah, I just either someone internally. Where is Mr. Mason? Because I feel like he's at West Brom, wasn't he last? He got sacked, I think. So maybe they'll bring him back. But yeah, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you who's going to be the manager.
Yeah.
What do you think, Naz?
Well, I think the way that I see it, I think they are looking for Poch to come in after the World Cup.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That's
fair
what
point.
I'm hearing.
Fair point.
You know, from my sources. No, my sources being the internet. What I think is that that's what they want to do, because now that the ownership's slightly different, it's like
I don't know why, Naz. It just reminded me. We listened a lot to TalkSport. You know that guy Mo that just goes on and like has his sources, and his source is just like someone on Twitter.
Mo and his sources. Yeah.
Who is your source?
What a legend, man. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I do think it will be like, as you say, an internal, and then someone. If they had to like pick someone to bring in. Do you know, I would like to see Mr. Sir Gareth Southgate back in the game.
Ooh.
Okay.
And I could see that being a little matchup that might be right. Because Spurs also, like, they do a lot of fostering the younger players, and you tend to see, they always seem to be in development, and I think he'd be a good manager for that kind of project.
I could see that starting nicely and then going quite badly wrong. I feel like there's a lot of impatient Premier League fans these days. I'm not sure about necessarily the fans in the stadium, because they seem quite loyal by the sounds of it. But obviously the Twitter force, I don't think they take to him being the manager of Spurs. I don't know. I feel like he had his time. He did an amazing job for England. We spoke about before Christmas, didn't we, how much I love Gareth Southgate. But yeah, as a club manager, I don't know. I feel like the game's moved on a little bit, but I could be wrong. Maeve, any thoughts? You just said nah.
I said nah. I think he's gonna write a memoir, get a spot as a pundit, and he's going to do that. That's it.
Okay.
He cannot be going back to any club.
I have another name, guys. I have another name.
I'd bet on it.
I have my own personal name.
Okay.
And it's going to be Roberto De Zerbi. He just saw his contract with Marsiglia. With Marseille, how do you say in English? Marseille. Yeah. So I think it could be interesting. Like, it could be an interesting match. Like, I would see him. If he managed to, like, go past his, shock after the contract end with Marseille, I could see him.
Because at the moment there's a lot of controversy about the Serbia, isn't there? I'll just quickly mention it. Obviously about the Greenwood stuff, like playing a player that's been accused of some serious crimes. Obviously, we allegations, obviously, just to clarify. But yeah, I think he's got a little bit of a sour reputation, maybe from going to Marseille, because Marseille as well have a quite tasty history and a sort of relationship with sort of extreme fans as well. So he's going to have to rebuild if he does come back to the Premier League,
but
I suspect.
I think that, like, if you go to a team, okay, maybe they have this kind of fans, etc., but you're the coach, so like, like, you know what I mean? I think that your reputation is not that much
Yeah.
touched by that. I don't know. From my point of view, I mean, I wouldn't mind. You know, I mean, the delegation of Greenwood are really, really bad. But as a coach, I think that it's not his reputation that has put on stake. You know what I mean?
Well, it was also when he was at Brighton towards the end, I feel like it went quite sour quite quickly. There was a period where it was going really well, and they were really loving De Zerbi, and then he came out with a lot of press conferences where he was quite negative about the board and like the club, and so yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Maybe he can come. Maybe he can come to Fiorentina. Like this is my personal campaign to bring him to Fiorentina. So sorry.
Okay, so that's who you're backing for Spurs replacement, yeah? Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, it's not a bad shout.
But if he doesn't want to go to Tottenham for his reputation and such, we're gonna like welcome him open arms in Fiorentina.
Okay.
So,
well, plenty.
Roberto, if you're listening.
Oh, I have one more quickly.
Yeah.
If Carrick doesn't get the Man United job, because he's doing really well, but there might be a point where because I feel like commercially Man United often don't appoint a British manager for various reasons. If they don't appoint him and Carrick's done fairly solidly, he'll definitely be in the running for a lot of Premier League clubs, because I feel like he's doing well under the pressure of United. There's obviously there is less pressure at a club like Spurs, so I could see that happening if he doesn't get the United job permanently.
Yeah, well, funny you mention United, because let's talk about it.
Nice segue. We're on the right track here. Nice.
The bloke who's gonna be irrelevant when he cuts his hair is still relevant.
Yeah.
Because
can I just have another gripe of mine? I know I keep doing gripes. Maybe I'm getting old and grumpier, but the media these days, with like people like this that get jobs in the media, the guy's literally just grown his hair. That's all he's done, and he's done a collaboration yesterday with PK. He's got 1.3 million followers on Instagram. Fair play. I'd like 1.3 million followers, but I wouldn't grow my hair out for it.
I think you look
maybe
really good.
I'm being very like grumpy old man vibes here, but I just feel like, is this the world we're living in, where he'll probably end up working for Sky?
Yeah, it is.
This is why, like, your biggest YouTuber in the world, who's got millions, and Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
That's going to be Friday Fixture's going to get 1 million subscribers, mate. This time next year, trust me.
Oh, come on. Yeah, it's kind of like the more ridiculous thing that you do, the more attention it gets somehow. But that's exactly what Mr. Beast did. He like counted to 1 billion or something, just on video, and that's where he got subs from.
You're obviously commenting on it, but for your perspective though, Naz, do you think it's a good thing for sport to have like characters like this? Am I being an old man here? Man shouts at cloud vibes.
I do kind of get where you're coming from, because there is a lot of the time, like, I will see YouTubers and TikTokers get like really cool like things, like
fair
placements
enough.
and stuff, where they'll be picked up by, Sky Sports, TNT, whoever, and they just won't seem that informed. They'll seem really opinionated, and I guess that's kind of what they've been told, is like, well, we've got you because you're the personality. But
and it brings the viewers in, I presume. That's
they'll just come out with absolute waffle and absolute nonsense, which is a shame, because sometimes they really are just like, they bother me to watch. And the ones that do it the most for me are this almost sounds a bit xenophobic, but the American fans. There's American fans that are crazy about the Prem and stuff, and it feels really jarring to hear the American fans talking about football, and I'm like, this is so just like,
what are you talking about?
Feel real.
Shut up.
It's like, yeah man, that corner, that was so good, dude, and it's just like, nah man, this is weird. Ran
over from me again, but
so United, to go back, is that they had a really good streak going, and to be fair, if you look at it from the lens of how bad they were before, it's to get a last-minute equaliser and not give up and continue this sort of good thing they've got going with Carrick. They're still generally kind of impressive, and West Ham have had a really good run of form lately, and they're looking like they're going to not just give up, but actually try and survive. So I think overall, United shouldn't feel too aggrieved.
Do you know what is a good reflection as well on Carrick? I won't repeat what I said last week like a broken record, but obviously playing the right players in the right positions is what I said last week. But Benjamin Sesko is in the correct position as a striker, as that was the point I was trying to make. He's scored back-to-back games. He looks really impressive. I think there was a lot of press talk when he came, like, this is a ridiculous amount of money. But how is it that Carrick, how long has he been in position now? 4 weeks or so? 5 weeks, whatever? Like, he's managing to, like, is it just that simple of, like, just vibes manager almost? Like, I just don't get it. Like, the players are suddenly just performing.
Yeah,
It's a bit
This
strange.
is what I was talking about when we were talking about the Tottenham manager. You need that kind of shake. So I think that the change in the coach position was the kind of shake that Man United just needed in that moment. Just that kind of thing that make you snap, be like, okay, I need to focus on that, and be
I
a
think
little bit better than what I used to be before.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's also like you need adaptability in football, and obviously Amarin was very stubborn, wasn't he, about the 3 at the back or the 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. And it was a detriment to his time at Man United. I mean, they lost games they probably should have won against lesser sides, just being so bullish about it. And Carrick's walked in and
but
Vibes FC.
Can I just say just one quick thing? When they recorded Amorim after he was sacked, aura. Can I say he was walking with his with his wife?
I said on the pod.
It was like this guy is living his best life. He just got sacked, but look at him walking, and he looks like a runway, more like, hey guys.
I've never seen someone look so happy walking on ice and snow. Is what I said on the pod.
Exactly, it was like aura.
Yeah.
I mean,
Respect.
10 million in your pocket will probably do that.
Exactly.
I feel like that would do that for me too.
I would be the same.
Yeah.
But you still do the pod. That's what we said last time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Even if you won the lottery now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course I would. Nothing.
There was a bit of a pause there. I was like, oh, that's a shame. Fair enough.
No, nothing comes before it. So I think one thing as well that I was thinking about it in the Carrick situation is I feel like because of his status as a United legend, I also think that plays a part in how much the players are willing to work for him. And with Amorim, maybe that was lacking a little bit. I think certain players, especially young players now, are probably kind of quick to clown their manager when they do, just when they come out silly in the press, like kind of what's happening with Rafinha at Chelsea. When you kind of if the public doesn't respect your manager, how are you going to respect him as the guy that's telling you what to do every week, And I think the public looks at Carrick and goes, that's a serious player, that's won Premier League.
I respect him.
You know, exactly.
But I suppose by that token, though, Rosnoir has got a lot of flack in the press.
Yeah.
But the players, I mean, okay, last night was 2-0 up and then drew 2-2. But the players look like really are playing for him. So they're clearly ignoring the noise of the press to sort of go against your point, maybe. But it's probably a case-by-case basis. I feel like...
you are right, yeah.
I feel like Amarin just none of the variables were in position for him to do well there. It came at the wrong time. Should have come in the summer. They've moved on. Carrick's doing really, really well, and good luck to him. I hope he gets a job permanently. And then what I want, Naz, this is the sweet spot. I want them to do as well that they maybe keep him, not well enough that they get in the Champions League, and then slowly beautiful decline into next season, where by January they rehire Amarin or something crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something mad happened.
It's kind of what happened with when they had Solskjaer in as well. They had a really good start, and then it was where the whole Rio Ferdinand signed the contract thing came from, and then they slumped again. But there was a period of people United are back, finally. They're winning again. And then it's just the signs are still there. So, if Carrick does stay, I think it's a case of the summer. And
only joking, United fans. Only joking.
Yeah, of course. We support everyone.
We're neutral. I realised I had to be neutral here. And I was oops.
Okay, let's move on. There's another big incident that we can also talk about, because we'll look back at Liverpool versus Man City over the weekend. Just quite an insane game, just in of its own accord. I think it was a lovely antidote to certain other teams' football. And I think
what are you talking about now?
I don't know. Yeah, just some teams a bit boring, whatever. And I always say this before Liverpool Man City games, I'm always excited because I know there'll be just something, even if it's a 0-0, it'll be a great 0-0. And so once again, we had just the display of just energy and excitement and amazing goals. Szoboszlai's goal, which kind of got overshadowed by the end of the game, but that was one of the best goals of the season, easily.
I was going to say on that front, Gary Neville style, but should the keeper not have put more men in the wall, and B, if he'd positioned himself slightly closer on that side, would he not have just saved it? I don't know. It was a great goal. I'm not taking anything away from the finish.
No, I hear what you mean.
But I feel like logic. I mean, I think Mika Rich said the same thing. If there was a player there physically, it would have been blocked.
Yeah, I think
I'm not sure.
Joe Hart had a really good analysis of this.
Okay,
And
I
think
didn't see that. Yeah,
he's really
what did he
good when he
say?
talks about just the goalkeeping side of the game. I think he's one of the best in that sense because he just has a really good insight into it.
Sticking to the goalkeeping stuff.
He's very good with it. So I think the point he was kind of making was the goalkeeper is almost making up the mind of Szoboszlai by deciding what setup he puts out. So because he'd set it up like that, he was basically saying to Szoboszlai, it kind of go on then, if you think you're good enough, go for it. And he was kind of like almost like a taunt to say, I'm only going to put 2 men in the wall because there ain't no way you're going to try and pop it in the corner from there.
Right.
And Szoboszlai's gone, I'm capable and I will do that. And so I think people were looking at it as a bit of not necessarily disrespect, but a bit more of just you've got to anticipate that this guy is capable of scoring those kind of goals, especially because he's done it a couple of times in season already.
I'd say the other thing with Szoboszlai is it's a bit of an antidote to, ironically, the team they were playing against, Man City, where for a while they wouldn't really, I can't remember for a long time them scoring a direct free kick like that, where the players are allowed to even attempt a strike like that. He would just be he'd go on possibility of losing possession and all these kind of stats-based things where I like the fact that a player is given the freedom to just be I'm just going to absolutely fuck this into the net. That it's just really fun to see those kind of strikes happening or even attempting them, to be honest.
Well, I'm sure there are other players in the league who are capable of it as well, and it's just their managers being no, you're not allowed to shoot.
That's what I'm saying. It's just nice. It's refreshing. I feel like recently we've had some really good goals where for a long time it was kind of everyone was copying Pep and being we must tap it into the back of the net. We cannot possibly have a strike from outside the box because my manager will fume at me and chuck me off the pitch. Yeah. Whereas now it feels like we've kind of reverted a bit, which is really fun. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I really love it.
I think the XG sort of ideology, the stats and all of that, it's still very important, but I think it's kind of being
utter football nonsense. Is that what you're saying, Naz?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, and I reckon there'll be legislation about it eventually where footballing governing bodies will try to make it so the football stays entertaining, and they'll do something about the way that it's going in terms of it being really analytical and statistic.
Well, that's why I wondered. I wondered whether there is. I don't know if we can actually say for certain that they have been pushed, but you are seeing a lot more exciting goals.
Yeah.
And maybe someone at the top is kind of nudging, or club directors as well. They need bums on seats for the hospitality and all the rest of it. Maybe there are some narratives because you heard murmurs about Maresca being told by the medical staff not to play players for a certain amount of minutes. So you just don't know what message is being passed down from top to bottom. We don't know, do we? I suppose. Yeah. It'd be interesting to find out.
Well, on that as well, I just thought about Arsene Wenger's proposed offside rule, which is not going to be put into place necessarily, but because UEFA and stuff have all kind of said we don't want this, but FIFA, whom he's a part of, they're trialling it. It's essentially.
Just explain to listeners.
So the offside rule, it will basically be that if any part of the body is in line with the striker, then they'll count as offside. So it could be, if you're offside and your leg is in line with the defender, you'll count as onside. Mm-hmm. And so the idea is it will bring more goals to the game for the sake of entertainment. Yeah. But I think it doesn't necessarily get rid of the issue of really fine margins, because there'll be one where it'll be is his toe in line with so.
I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. I'm not sure it necessarily needs changing personally, but we've said this before about changes in sport, and often people, like I was ranting earlier, man shouts at cloud kind of vibes. You get slightly frustrated and you phone up the sports radio programs getting irate about it. The change comes in, and then everyone's kind of whether they love or hate it, just kind of has to accept it. A bit like VAR, isn't it? Do I love VAR? Probably not. Is it going to go away? Probably not. Mm-hmm. So there's an element of I don't know.
Now you're accustomed to that.
I would say maybe the only thing that was a sort of a sign of hope for clubs actually listening to their fans was 2021 post-COVID, sort of in the COVID phase. And do you remember there was lots of murmurs about the Super League? And then a lot of the fans from Chelsea came out. Petr Cech came out and had to sort of demand that the fans didn't block the bus that came in because Chelsea had a game that evening. So there is fan power, but you would need a lot of fans voicing their concern, and you'd also not need the bums on seats at like the World Cup and all these things where they're paying like thousands to go for them to actually give a shit, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it's like a fighting a losing battle kind of vibes. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Ludo?
I agree. No, I agree. Because people then get accustomed to changes, and then you have to do another change, and then another change, and then another change. So just stick to it. You know what I mean?
Actually, whilst we're on that note, Naz, VAR, like, I feel like I'm going a bit of a tangent, but I'm just curious, like, for you, like, were you in favour at the time and are slightly against it now, or like, what's your vibe on it?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Robin, because I actually did want to talk about VAR. Because of the goal that was disallowed and the red card that was given. So actually, VAR, in terms of, for your question, I was and I still am, and I think I always will be in favour of it. I am also just heavily in favour of completely revamping who is in charge of it and who's working behind the screens and stuff, because that I don't trust like referees at all. They don't seem to understand nuances to the game, and
like the goal on Sunday.
Exactly. And just little parts. The thing is with the goal on Sunday, I've come to terms with it.
Okay. Here we go.
I've come to terms with it because, like, I can understand that by the letter of the law, they have to follow things a certain way. And somebody said something, I remember listening to someone talk about it, and it was, so we play Sunderland next, whose manager is Regis Labrie, I think. And somebody said he would want Szoboszlai to be sent off if the letter of the law would mean that he should be sent off for that game, because it would mean his team has more of an advantage against us the next game. And if that's just fair, then fair enough. And at the end of the day, I suppose Szoboszlai's made his own bed in that sense. It is, I think, as I understand it now, advantage was given when Szoboszlai was tugging back Haaland. And then Haaland tugged back Szoboszlai, for which you can't play on advantage on another advantage, so you have to call the foul back for that moment. And then because it was called back for the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, that's why Szoboszlai's got the red, and that's why the goal's been disallowed, because it took place after the advantage.
To play devil's advocate, I think from their point of view, they're being very literal in the way that they're watching a game of football, and I agree with you. Football is not a literal game, otherwise we'd not watch it. There would be zero narratives and it'd be really, really boring. I'm not trying to defend the referees, but I'm saying I can see by their letter of the law why this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and these are different processes. And you probably wouldn't be questioning it if the ball just rolled out of play, for a corner. So it's a tricky one. I agree with you. I don't disagree with you, by the way. I think the goal should have stood, and then you still lost the game, and you've not lost a player for the next game. Everyone kind of, you don't win because you lost the game regardless. But I agree. I think that there should be an asterisk and a common sense element of VAR, but that will never happen because that will negate the point of VAR.
Because referees don't have common sense.
No. I'm just saying, like, they are going to be literal. It's a bit like if you talk to a computer, it will tell you what is, or, within reason, what 1 + 1 is. So it's really tricky. I think football has become too literal, and I think the reason we love sport, and we love football especially, is because human beings are fallible. They will make mistakes, and that is why you see fantastic goals. If defenders were perfect, if midfielders were perfect, everyone would just be stood in a perfect straight line the whole game, and that obviously doesn't happen. So it's trying to find that balance. I don't know how they find that balance though.
I'm in total favor of VAR. I think it's a great introduction in football. But I
controversial on this podcast.
I think it's good, because coming from a team that have been in Champions League so many years ago. I remember, I think it was one of the last time we were in the Champions League, and we played against Bayern Munich, and they robbed us of the qualification. We were in the final 16th, I would say, and the goal was so offside. We're talking about 2 meters offside. So if we had VAR, in that case, VAR would have been called, and we would have won the match. So I think that it helps, and it's helping a lot in this kind of situation. But one of the flaws, of course, is the fact that it's kind of like a computer base thing. It's really literal, so it's really difficult to find the different shades. You know what you say. Of course, the goal was not a goal that was deciding the match. But how can you say, okay, this is not a goal that's going to decide the match, so we're not going to call the VAR. This goal is going to decide the match, so we're not going to call the VAR. So you know what I mean.
One thing I think that might help them is...
It's a little bit black and white, but I think that you have to accept it a little bit.
Sorry, the one thing I was going to say is maybe what they could do, just to try and negate like the problems that are happening, is just have like a window of time where like if you haven't definitively decided, probably less so because that was very literal, but I'm saying like for the Liverpool Man City game, but you know sometimes when they have decisions where they're just deliberating for like ages and then it still goes to the referee. I think that period should be much shorter and then it goes to the ref. But then also I do feel bad for the refs, like when like the screen comes down, they've got like loads of home, if like it's a home against the home team, and they've got all these home fans just shouting at them. It can't really help you like make a rational decision because you've got like 10,000 people behind you in the stand.
I'm sure they're just used to that anyway.
Exactly.
When they make
No, I know,
decisions.
but it might be a bit different. Like if you were doing your work, and do you know what I mean? Like it must be quite. It must make your heart raise a little bit further.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're used to it. When you decided to be a referee at the
exactly,
top of the game,
exactly.
You have to be a bit of a psycho.
With or without the VAR, I mean, like you know what you're signing for when you become a referee.
Rarely do you leave a game and think, you know, the referee actually smashed it today. Every single decision was perfect. No one ever does that when they leave a game.
No.
Like you could win 6-0 and be like, I think if that referee didn't give that offside,
was amazing.
that was 7-0.
I can't remember the game I watched recently where like sadly the commentator was literally talking about like how the ref had been really quiet, and it's like kind of ironic, isn't it? Because it should be like that every game. But I see your point, Naz.
Yeah.
Well, here's to referees improving. I think just on that. I think the solution I would suggest would be to have keep the referees in like VAR for the sake of their knowledge of the game and the laws, and then just have a player in there that's completely not associated with any of the teams. I think
that is going to be so like.
How can you do that?
That is the only bit that's hard.
No,
but it's not impossible though. Like if you got it's Liverpool, Man City, and you take a player who's only played for Stevenage and Portsmouth. Like they don't have to be a player who played at the top of the game. Just a player.
No, but maybe they support some other teams.
Well, that's what I think you'd put them through a vetting process. You'd make them train, but they'd be a former player, and they'd have gone through some kind of training that means that they're qualified to be. They'd have a title. So you've got the assistant referee, video assistant referee, video assistant, former player, VAFP.
I don't know. I think it will be even more controversial. I'm thinking about Italian football. It will be like every day. It will be like, oh yeah, that player, but of course.
I think it would just be questioned like, exactly.
Yeah, you support the other team, you support this, you support that. Oh my god, it will be like drama, of course. We're here for the drama, but I don't know.
But it'd be maybe just as a final point, maybe what you could do to sort of see how well it goes is just to get like random fans in from like the pub and just see what their vibe is, and then they'll realise how hard it is.
And put them in. Yeah, that'll be funny. That'll be funny. Okay, let's move on. We have been yapping. I did want to mention quickly about Romero getting sent off. He's been sent off 4 times now, and so he's got I think a lengthy suspension because of this. Is he too aggressive a player?
He seems a little bit lacking in football intelligence. That's not to say he's stupid. I just mean in footballing terms. I think too often he gives away too silly a foul, and that was a prime example against Man United where they were actually playing fairly well up until that point, and I think it was still 0-0, and it's like you have essentially cost your side potentially the game. If he stayed on the pitch, I think even Messi has said though that he thinks Romero is one of the world's best defenders he's ever played with. So that's high praise from like probably arguably the best player to ever grace football pitch or one of. Maybe he's seeing something we're not. But in the Premier League, no, he's I don't know. He makes so many rash decisions.
Yeah. And how much is gonna be out? Like for
I think he's got a 4-match ban now. So
Like,
yeah,
it was like a lack
that's
for
really costing the
yeah.
team. You know, it's a
And
big.
I remember even when he played in Italy, he has played like in Italy for a short period of time.
Oh,
And when
did he
we-
play for Lazio?
Atalanta.
Atalanta. Oh, okay.
And when there was like the fantasy league like draft, nobody wanted to take him because of all the like yellow cards and red cards that he takes. So I think that the guy should like calm down a little bit.
Maybe a final point is
Yeah.
a summary of like Frank's tenure at Spurs is like he was asked by a reporter about Romero's red cards, and Thomas Frank didn't really seem to have any idea that Romero had this reputation. Probably should have done his research on the player before he went
Yeah.
there.
You'd want to know about that. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'd say so. I would say so.
Down to 10 men
How
half
can
the
you
time. I'll skip a little bit of relegation chat. I was just curious
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see what you were thinking because West Ham, Leeds and Forest all kind of down there. And West Ham look like they might be fighting back. But I'm sure we'll get a chance to touch on that another day.
Yeah.
The other results we did have Arsenal pulling off a win in the Women's Super League. They beat Man City. So I think the thing is Man City have probably...
I was going to say the
probably still run away with it, but I
Yeah.
think for
Yeah.
the sake of pride, for the Arsenal fans, I think that was a pretty big win. Did you go to that, Maeve? Were you?
Not this time.
Okay.
Lucky charm, that's why they won.
Exactly.
And also just a shout out to
Sorry,
Adam as well, who wanted us to mention the incredible Leicester
Yeah.
versus Southampton game, with Leicester being 3-0. I think it must 3-0
3-0 up.
through, yeah,
They're
3-0
3-0
up.
up, yeah.
And losing 4-3 in very late
Cinema.
added on, yeah.
Cinema, absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema. So yeah, just another reason to tune into the Championship where there's so much going on
Yeah,
there as well, which
it's a great
again
league.
we will have plenty of chance to talk about in future
And no
episodes.
VAR, is there, I don't think? Is there?
For now. Yeah, I don't think they do.
They don't
Much more
do
fun.
But I bet that they'll have it soon.
Yeah,
The way the game's going. Let's talk about what's upcoming.
Yes.
We have resident Italian football expert Ludovica Cerci.
That was
on the-
beautiful pronunciation.
on
Is
the-
that correct?
Perfect,
Is that correct?
10 out of 10.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Honorary
all grazie.
citizenship.
Italian passport is in the post.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's already there.
We have some big games coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
We've got. Do you guys say derby when you talk
Derby
about?
d'Italia.
Okay.
Oh,
Derby
that's such
d'Italia.
nice
You have to,
pronunciation.
you have to
Oh,
roll
Ludo,
that R.
that's beautiful.
Okay, very
Derby
nice.
d'Italia.
The derby d'Italia.
Exactly.
Okay. And yeah, how are you feeling about it? Tell us what to expect.
I mean, it's probably the most representative match of all Serie A.
Ooh, big statement. Fair enough.
Yeah, not for me, but if you ask like around, they're probably two of the most supportive teams.
And these teams are let's just share with us.
Inter and Juve.
Okay.
We just say Inter. We don't say Inter Milan, so we say Inter
Not
and Juve.
Internazionale.
Internazionale,
It's
yeah.
just Inter and Juve. And it's really funny because it's going to be on this Saturday. So this Saturday is the 14th. It's St. Valentine's Day. So a lot of my friends, it's really funny because a lot of my friends are like, oh my god, a lot of my supporters of Juve and Inter are like, oh my god, this is the most important match of the season. But what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out with my partner, or I'm gonna watch the match. So they have this kind of really like.
And then on Sunday, single, and they can
Yeah.
still watch the football. Fair.
But yeah, honestly, it's not for me, but it's probably the most representative one, and it's really funny because Juventus and Inter fan are really like set on the match. Really, oh my god, we feel the pressure, and everybody else of all the other teams, they just hate watching. They don't care about like the result and anything. They just watch that to hate them. Just like oh my god,
Hate watch.
Yeah, hate
okay.
watch. Sorry, my H are not the
No,
the best.
sorry.
Hate watch.
Yes,
with
yes.
the H in front of
good.
as my friend Naz always tries to tell me. Hate watch with the H in front of the A.
No hate on this pod, though. No hate. No hate. Just love.
So yeah, it's just like like I just hope both teams lose. Most of people around Italy are like that. Like we don't care who's gonna win. We just hope that they're both gonna lose. But I think it's gonna be a really interesting match. Inter are doing really good right now. They're doing
Martinez
really
got, was it 171 goals recently?
Sorry?
Martinez for Inter.
Martinez. Yeah.
171 goals, is it? Yeah.
I don't remember the
recently.
exact number, but I think that right now they do not have any. It's a big statement, but they don't have like big contenders for the title. When I came here, I think the first time I said that Napoli could have been a good contender, but in the last few matches, they show some lacks, some flows. So I don't know. I will put when even Inter and Juventus play, it's always really open. So you never know what the score gonna be. But I would put my money on Inter.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say like 3-0, but maybe 2-1, something like that.
They're currently 8 points ahead. Obviously,
Yeah.
AC Milan have a game in hand.
And
So
they're 12 ahead of Juventus.
feels a little bit parallel mirror image of the Premier League sort of
Yeah.
narratives going on at the moment. You know, you need a title race to bring in the viewers and the excitement and narratives.
Yeah.
So from a neutral point of view, I suppose most people, apart from people that hate Juventus, probably want the Juventus win, right?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
No, because
Not for, I meant for the title race.
Because people don't like Juventus as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
like 90% of people hate Juventus, so nobody's
Okay,
gonna
alright.
like, oh my god, I really hope Juventus gonna win to reopen the Serie A. Nobody.
Okay.
And if they tell you, they're like,
So it depends if you're a fan of football or
Alright.
if you're
Yeah.
a fan of a team.
Yeah,
if you're
no,
a fan
fair
of a
enough.
team, then I
maybe
guess
like non-Italian people that
Yeah.
don't follow really.
exactly.
Oh my
Neutrals
god,
maybe,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
maybe you could be saying, but nobody in
Ah,
Italy
big
would say
Fiorentina
something.
fan. Come on.
Yeah, but nobody
doing
would
so
say
well.
nobody would say that. No.
Okay.
But I think that compared to like what Arsenal is like Arsenal, they have this kind of fear of winning. I don't know why. When they are at the top of the league, they're like, oh my god, we are at the top. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna win? Oh my god, panic.
Yeah.
Inter are really good at sticking to the top of the table. So I think I don't know.
Thuram as well got back on the score sheet, I think, in their win last time out, a 5-0
Yeah.
win against Sassuolo.
Yeah.
It's quite concerning for the rest of the division, isn't it? Seeing how well Inter seems to be playing
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah, I think he has no contender. They have no contenders right now, which is sad, but we're gonna accept it. I mean, Juventus has won the Serie A for 9 years in a row, so we can accept Inter having no contenders right now.
Yeah. A bit of a change. We also have Napoli against Roma this weekend as well.
Another big match.
So is there a name for this game? Do they call it
No.
something? Okay, it's just
Football match, they call
maybe,
it, yeah.
Maybe we can
Calcio.
we can rename it Derby Centro Sud Italia because like center south of Italy. So they are the two most representative ones in the center south of Italy. So maybe we could just start this tradition here at the Friday Fixture.
Okay.
And in like 30 years, people gonna be like, "Oh, Derby Centro Sud Italia."
Okay, we'll make it a thing.
I remember the first time we heard it.
Yeah. Okay, we got that. No problem. We'll put it up. We'll put it up on Instagram. Get all the
Yeah.
Italians in.
Exactly.
You know,
That was one of
yeah.
our most liked posters when Ludo was talking about it. So yeah, need the clicks.
Yeah, how are you feeling about this game?
It's another really big match, and I think it's going to be really interesting. A few like matches ago, we say Napoli have the potential to win. Right now, they just got eliminated by Como in Coppa Italia.
That was quite a good game, actually. Yeah, I thought.
And Conte seems a little bit nervous in the last few matches. Like in the conference, in the post-matches conference, it's a little bit like, bro, chill a little bit. Like, I love him. I love his personality. It's a really big personality. I love him, but sometimes he has been a little bit over the line. So I think it's a really open match as well because Roma with Gasperini, I think they're doing pretty well. So I don't know. It's really open. It could be like 1-1, 2-2. I don't know.
I think it was interesting seeing Napoli. Obviously, I only had it on from a Chelsea point of view, but obviously Napoli lost to Chelsea 3-2. That game historically would have. It was a really hard game.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at the comeback and like the way Napoli let Chelsea get back into that game.
Yeah.
That probably wouldn't have happened last season, I feel like. I know they've had some injuries. I know Lukaku's come back from a bad injury and is still finding his way back to the top, isn't he? But yeah, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
to see
I think
Napoli
that just in there are some moments where they just lost their balance. They just lost their focus, and that's what has happened throughout the whole season, I'd say. I don't know. I think that is something that hasn't happened last year, but every season is different. I don't know what could have changed in their minds, but they do not seem the same kind of theme that they used to be last year. You know, when you play Napoli last year, you were like, oh, you know.
Yeah. It felt quite scary, didn't it, going there?
Yeah, they were really scary.
McTominay, obviously, as well.
Like right now, I don't know. They're really scary. Still scary, but they have some lacks of, I don't know, focus or something.
Fair.
Let's do some score predictions. So we'll start with Napoli Roma. You said you were thinking of a draw, yeah?
Yeah, I drove.
1-1?
1-1. No, let's say 2-2.
Okay.
I'm going to go Lukaku 1-0.
Really?
Oh, Lukaku!
Gonna
You
get a
think
Lukaku
he's
goal?
gonna score?
Well, he missed the penalty in the. I was going to mention
Yeah.
earlier. There was a
Yeah.
8-7 loss in the shootout against who was it they were playing?
Como.
Como. Sorry, yes,
Como.
Como. I was going to say Pisa. Como even. Obviously, Como are playing quite well at the moment. Obviously under Cesc Fabregas, but
And of course we play against Como next
Yeah.
season.
So yeah, I think Lukaku might have a bit of a redemption story after that miss.
Mhm.
That's my theory. What about you,
Okay.
Naz?
I have a soft spot for Roma because
Oh,
they
yeah.
gave
Oh, yeah?
Liverpool, Alisson and Salah.
They gave what is it?
They,
I mean, you
as
did
in
pay.
We bought them, but
wasn't for free.
But they came from there.
Yeah.
And
It's a gesture of goodwill. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always. Well, to be fair, we should have paid so much more for them for the
Okay,
impact they've
fair
had,
enough,
so
fair
I'll
enough.
take it.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, it's
absolutely.
free.
We're still a little bit bitter with Salah, you know.
Yeah.
We remember like those golden moments, and then it just
I
like
don't know, man.
it just
I don't know.
yeah.
He just had to go to the next place to flourish. You know,
But-
it's just one of those.
The only thing I wanted to say is that the only thing that could like favor Napoli a little bit is the fact that do they play in Napoli? I think. Do they play in Napoli?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Roma fans are banned by how do you say not home game, the away game
Yeah.
for the whole
Oh.
rest of the season, because there's been some big problems between like ultras. You don't have like ultras here in the
You have wannabe ultras.
so there've been like really like fights on the highway between ultras of Roma, Fiorentina. So a lot of ultras have been banned. So they play with no
Okay.
supporters. So that's the only thing that could like make Napoli lives a little bit easier, because Roma fans are really, really passionate. But of course, it's not going to be what's going to change the result. But
Yeah.
it could be something.
7-0 to Roma. That's my prediction for you. And for the derby,
Yeah,
What
for
are we
the
thinking?
derby.
what are you thinking score-wise?
I would say it's always really open. I would go 2-1 for Inter. But
Okay.
it's going to be a really tight match.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep the narrative going that there's going to still be a title race in Serie A, so I'll go for a Juve 1-0
Okay. Nice.
late on or something.
Nice.
Is that at Juve or is it Inter?
Whoa.
The game, is it being played?
I think it's being played
That's
in
Inter.
Inter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see Juve sneaking at something. They came back from 2-0 down their last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
4-4.
Wow.
Crazy game. I also just really quickly as well, just before we move on, I wanted to, because I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling.
Oh, no,
down,
don't
You're
this.
I'm going down the table.
Twist the
quite
knife. Twist
far,
the knife.
actually. It's going. Well, it's
Yeah,
really
it's
long.
not great.
Oh, there's Fiorentina.
Oh my god.
What's happening there? You guys are battling really, and you're struggling. You're 3 points off safety. You're behind Lecce.
Way to stab Ludo in the heart right now.
Yeah.
Naz.
Just let twist the knife.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
more. I
It's just reality, mate. It's just reality.
No.
Okay, you're 18.
You're right.
What's happening? You're gonna get relegated?
I feel that every time I come here, it's the same thing. It's the same
I
story.
want the best for you. I want the best.
Like every time.
But I'm not seeing it change.
No. It's really funny because people are like, from like when we had problems. So like since I'd say September, people are like, oh my god, no, there's gonna be like a changing moment. You're gonna be great. You're not gonna be in the relegation anymore. And every time is gonna be the same. Like, oh my god, yeah, we see that. And every time you're like, oh my god, it's gonna change. It's not gonna change. I'm already like set on the fact that next season we're gonna play on Saturday, which is the day of Serie B.
Serie B.
We are gonna get relegated, and this is the thing I say every time, is because one, everything is going badly for us. You know, when you start a season and nothing goes into the right path. That's what's happening for us this season.
The president dying as well.
Yeah, that's another really like sad.
Just everything that could go wrong was going wrong.
Yeah, everything's going wrong. And I think we have a good players, but we struggling to like find a solution. And when you start in this like negative mindset, and you are not used to be in that kind of position in the table league, because this is what I always say, the other teams know how to handle that kind of pressure. Lecce know how to handle the pressure of relegation. The other teams know. You don't know. Like Fiorentina doesn't know. It's always like in the middle of the table, something like that. So you play with a lot of fear, and when you play with fear, you're not gonna have good results. We play against Lecce, I think, a few weeks ago. If we played that game again like 10 times, we would have won. I'm sure, like 100%. But since we play with fear, that's what
You
happened.
ever thought about a career in football management, Ludo?
Yeah, I was going to say,
quite
that
inspirational.
was really inspirational.
Yeah.
But Ludo, can I give you, Taylor Swift? Obviously, it's Valentine's Day. The love story vibes. Some words of positivity for you.
Yeah, go on.
I think that having Moise Kean back, he scored against in your last game. Obviously, it was a draw, and is it Solomon Ron? How do I say it?
Solomon, what?
Rondon. Oh,
Salman Rondon, yeah.
that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy who scored, wasn't it?
Solomon.
Yeah.
Solomon.
Sorry, not Solomon Rondon. Sorry, my
Is
bad.
that
Solomon
Solomon Rondon used to play for Everton in the
Solomon,
Premier
yeah.
League. Sorry, my bad.
Solomon.
Solomon even. He's got a really nice finish as well. He's come in. Fiorentina started. There are some bright spots in a bad team, I think.
You're trying to find a silver lining. Where
Okay.
It is.
Fair.
No, because
Okay.
because
It's Manuel Solomon.
Manuel
Be-
Solomon.
because
Sorry,
we
why did
were-
I say Solomon Rondon? Sorry,
like,
my
we
bad.
were
Manuel
winning, we were
Solomon.
winning, and like they equalized last minute.
I know.
So-
I'm just saying that there are some points where there is
Yeah.
elements within the game where you can see the positives.
Yeah.
It's just the last moment of like getting the 3 points. Obviously, is
I get what you mean. It's like you are on the verge of like falling, and somebody's giving a hand to you, but you just you try to touch the hand. You
I'm
try to-
trying, Naz. I'm really trying
But
to.
no. I always see the glass full empty, so I'm already like really set on this idea. And also there is a statistic: we lost 22 points in the last, I think, 10
Yeah.
minutes during the matches. So when I watch a match, actually, until around 75 minutes, I'm like, okay, cool. When the 18 minutes start, I'm like, oh my god, that's the horror. That's where the horror begins. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm pessimistic. I'm a pessimistic person, maybe, but I do not see a brighter future for us.
So in terms of the game against Como, you don't see any.
Oh my god, no! They are in such a positive streak. Like
Fair.
they just beat Napoli. I mean, they've done
Yeah,
so
they'll be
many
feeling
good
good.
matches, and I really love the way they play. So
Just quickly on Como, because I feel like they're a little bit like the Italian version of sort of Vibes FC, and they're getting a lot of celebrity fans in,
Yeah.
celebrity people
it's
invited to
crazy.
the
A lot
games.
of, like Han Hathaway, like
I was trying to think of the sort of the similar version in England. I was trying to think who's sort of like the cool team. I can't really think.
We don't really have one.
No, it feels quite American. Okay, fair.
We just don't.
But-
know.
yeah,
all right.
it's a really American.
I just mean
thing,
like
think.
it feels quite Americanization of football. But I just wonder how has it gone down in Italy? Kind of those all these celebrities coming and
It's really random. Like I
Okay.
think it has to do with the owners or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And also with the fact that probably a lot of like superstars love Como, love
Yeah.
Como, something like that. But
Beautiful
I think,
brand, though, yeah.
I think it has to do with the property. They
Okay.
have like some kind of connection, something like that.
I just wondered.
Yeah, it's really funny because you randomly say as I just said, Han Hathaway sat on the in the stands. You're like, why she's there? Like, what she's doing? But yeah, it's nice to see that somebody like it's good like promotion for
Yeah.
the league, I'd say.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that concludes our Italy chat because we are so over time. No real chance to talk about. We will get to it to the next round, but the FA Cup is on. It's back this weekend, so we'll keep an eye out for that one as well. I think the most exciting of those fixtures, you've got Man City against Salford, which will just be a nice little Manchester story, and there's also to look forward to.
But probably a battering, right?
I would think so.
Yeah,
probably.
sadly for Salford.
But it's just the romance of the cup. It's quite nice to just have
Yeah.
massive team against small team.
True.
Not small, but
But
just
that's-
not as big.
That's what I like about FA Cup.
And we've also got Hull City and Chelsea, so Rossinio going back
Senior,
to
yeah.
Hull
Yeah.
City. So that'll be nice too, so just keep an eye out for those ones. We're going to move on, though. We'll move on to your On This Day, Rob.
Yeah, sure. So my On This Day for Friday the 13th comes from 13th of February 1909.
Okay.
there'll be a reason why I'll get after this spiel. But basically, the second division fixture at Turf Moor between Burnley and Grimsby Town in 1909 saw 4 separate penalties being awarded to the home side. Amazingly, 3 of those penalties were saved by the Grimsby goalkeeper Walter Scott, and they were saved by the keeper not hit wide by the penalty takers, but Burnley did score from the other penalty. But yeah, I just wondered what people's thoughts were on penalties, basically. Are they actually good for the game? Should we scrap them? Should we change the rule around penalties? We were speaking about VAR earlier, so maybe people are against it. But yeah, I just wondered, like, do people actually enjoy people scoring a penalty? I think, yeah. What are your views, Ludo? Penalties, yes or no?
Penalties during the match or at
okay, yeah, during
just in general, I suppose.
okay, yeah,
What do you think
in
about
general
penalties?
and yeah, after just in general.
I really cannot watch a penalty without feeling like anxiety, but I really love watching that.
Okay.
I am a strong
Pen in.
support. Yeah.
Pen in, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They give that kind of flavor to the match.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Nas?
I kind of get where you're coming from. I think they add an important element of like how well can you keep your cool under
Exactly.
pressure. It's
Exactly.
like one of the sort of like the epitome of keeping your cool in the game.
Yeah.
And like nothing really beats a penalty shootout when the teams are completely locked in stalemate. You know, I love a good penalty shootout.
Can I say
so-
something?
Of course.
That
Go for
could be
it.
quite controversial. Like winning with penalties, like when we won against like England in the Euro Cup, is the most like satisfying thing ever. I'm so sorry.
Maybe that's
I
part-
get where you come from
yeah.
because the jeopardy is you know you're this close to not getting it,
Yeah.
and then to get it
Like
afterwards.
you cry, I was crying, but the tension when you finally win is like, ooh.
I feel like maybe
way
that's-
more rewarding than winning with a goal during the normal time, 19 minutes.
Part of the reason for asking the question was because I feel like we have had so much heartbreak as England fans. Ludo, thanks for reminding us again on the
As
podcast.
England men fans.
Okay, my apologies.
Exactly.
Sorry, my apologies. Yes, England men's side. Obviously, the women's smash the penalties and make the men look absolutely shit at penalties in comparison, which is quite funny.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go for it, Maeve. Go for
I
it.
don't know if you've seen the Nationals production of Dear England.
Yes.
Has anyone seen
Brilliant.
this?
I need to watch this. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Really, it has a fascinating perspective on penalties, which I never really understood before. But the psychology of it is so amazing and quite inspiring in a way. And it's like you don't really realise how much goes into it. You're not just kicking a ball into the net. Like there's this whole thing of passing the goalkeeper, passing the ball to the players, and there's a lot of psychology surrounding it and how you don't get in your head. But that's why I think penalties are such a nasty thing and quite a cruel thing.
Yeah,
so
it's really
fun
cruel.
and cruel, I guess, for a viewer, but insane as a player. But I would highly recommend the play if anyone's seen it.
It is.
But it's the psychology of it is fascinating.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where they talk about like because you have like it talks about like the psychological side in terms of having a psychologist come in, and they talk about like her impact on the team and like making the players really think about their psyche, and it is just really really cool. Big plug for Dear England.
I'd love to imagine what going inside a player mind when they have like the ball and they have to go on the penalty. Like imagine
In a World Cup?
Yeah, like oh my god,
Mm.
the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Oh.
How do you think you'd fare if you had to take the World Cup, the penalty in the World Cup final?
And as in to win the
World Cup.
To win the World Cup.
You got the cool, you got the composure.
I'm not from history. If history tells me anything, I wasn't very good at penalties as a kid, so I reckon I'd probably sky it. But it might go top bins. I might do a David Luiz and just absolutely like thunderbolt it into the back.
So that
of the
you
net.
say that's your technique. You
Yeah, just absolutely blast it and just hope for the
hope
best.
for the best, yeah.
You know?
I would love that.
Well,
but
together,
What, beating England again on penalties?
no,
For
not in
Italy, yeah.
England, but
but you'd be happy to take the penalty to win the World Cup.
it would be crazy. But imagine at the same time if you miss that,
Mm.
it remains.
Can't think about that though.
It remains inside your brain forever.
Yeah.
Like Badjo still has like nightmares. Everybody loves him. Everybody has forgiven him, but he still hasn't forgiven himself. So imagine, like, it's a lot. But I would love that. Imagine the whole country on your
Beautiful.
back.
How about this to end? England have already won the women's Euros, and now England men are going to replicate that at the World Cup this year on penalties in the final.
That'd be lovely.
Imagine.
That'd be lovely. I would absolutely love that.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm
fingers
gonna say
crossed.
yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Against Italy. Against Italy.
We still have to
Pure,
qualify.
oh, sorry. Okay. Well, when you do, pure hate watch.
Well, I'm sure we'll have you on again to talk about qualification for the World Cup at some point, because you have your playoff coming up in, I think, maybe March, is it?
Yeah.
So there's time for that.
Yeah. Good luck with that, Ludo. Yeah.
But yeah, that,
honestly, I don't know.
thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you guys. It's always a pleasure.
We'll have you soon. That brings us to the end. Thank you to Maeve for production today.
Maeve.
Thank you to Robin as well.
Welcome.
Thank you, Naz.
And we will see you for episode 14
14.
or 13.
15.
Well,
Depending.
technically, yeah, kind of confusing. But yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.